Hi, welcome back to my channel. If you're new here, welcome. I make videos about witchcraft, paganism, spirituality, and other related topics, so if that sounds like something interesting to you, feel free to hit subscribe. Today's video is going to be all about water fae, water spirits related to water, just a few different types, the stories behind them and what they are, because I think it's really important that we learn about these different beings and who they are and all of that. So let's get right into it. I do feel that mermaids and merpeople are kind of the best known creatures from the water, so I won't really be talking about them too much because I want to bring attention to the lesser known water spirits, especially those from the kind of Celtic lands. So let's start with Kelpies. Kelpies are a type of water horse, and they're usually associated with rivers and streams, and they are extremely dangerous. So please don't, if you see a horse that's right next to a river or a stream, and kind of maybe has some kind of lichen on its hooves or whatever, don't go near it. Or if you're meditating or whatever, because a lot of people see these beings when they're meditating, journeying, whatever, because they're very, very dangerous. They cause mischief, drown people, and they can even sink ships. Basically, if you go up to a Kelpie, if you touch it or if you ride it, it'll whisk you into the water, and you're gone, basically. You can't come back from that. There is an old Scottish belief that they can be killed only with silver. Before they take you into the water, their tails will hit the water, and it's said that it sounds like lightning, and then they disappear into the water along with their victim. They sometimes have bridles and cast enchantments through them, and it is said that if you have a Kelpie bridle, you can reverse these enchantments by looking through the bridle backwards. And it is believed that there is a Scottish clan that has this bridle, and it is seen as very auspicious to have one. Kelpies are mainly from Scotland. There are also other creatures similar or identical to the Kelpie. There's the Nuggle in Orkney. There's the ℎ𝔬𝔫𝔫𝔢 in Shetland. There's the ℎ𝔬𝔫𝔫𝔢𝔠𝔱 in Wales. And there's the ℍ𝔬𝔫𝔫𝔢 in Scotland. And the ℍ𝔬𝔫𝔫𝔢, let me know if I'm pronouncing it wrong, is known to be even more dangerous than the Kelpie, but kind of similar looking. Not quite the same though. However, an example of a benevolent water horse is Annwyn, who is the god Manannán mac Lír's horse. So they're not all dangerous, but if you for some reason have a vision of one, whether you're meditating or, if you have fairy vision and you see one, I would be careful and just assume that it's a Kelpie or one of the others that I stated, because chances of it being benevolent or Annwyn are quite low. Another interesting sea spirit or creature is the Selkie, and they are basically shapeshifters who go from seal to human. And often what the stories would say is that they'd come into the human world, onto the land, and they take off their pelts and they'd become these beautiful human beings. And then they would put their pelts back on and turn into seals and go back to the water. And there have been multiple stories where people have captured selkies by stealing their pelt, and they'd have to come with them. And eventually, in a lot of these stories, the selkie would somehow find the pelt and then return back to the water forever. So don't capture the selkie, although I doubt any of us are ever going to be in that situation. But they are very interesting creatures. I also wanted to talk about the ℎ𝔬𝔫𝔫𝔢𝔠, and she is a deity, not so much a water fae or spirit or whatever. She is a deity in Scottish and Irish folklore. She is most often associated with winter, but she is said to have created mountains and lochs through her activity. So let's talk about that. First of all, she is said to have built mountains through stones falling out of her basket. She is also said to have formed ℭ𝔬𝔫𝔫𝔢, right up here, and at the very least is associated with it. Now, she also has goats, so she roams the land with goats, basically, and each morning she removes capstones from wells and lets the waters flow. Each evening, she returns the caps to the water so it doesn't flood the land. In one version of the story, she fell asleep and didn't cap the wells, which is how ℭ𝔬𝔫𝔢 was formed. In another version of the story, she hired a young maiden named Nessa to uncap one of the two wells in Inverness and recap it at night. And one day, Nessa arrived late and found its water flowing toward her. In her fear, she ran, and the ℏ𝔬𝔫𝔢 cursed Nessa to run forever, thus creating the River Ness and Loch Ness. ℏ𝔬𝔫𝔢 is a very important goddess. If you adhere to the idea of a maiden, a mother, and a crone goddess, she would be the part of the crone aspect of the archetypes of the goddess. And she's often venerated as a goddess of winter, a personification of nature, personification of the seasons, and also has ties to water. Another interesting creature or spirit is Oine. Again, I don't know if I pronounced that right, so please correct my pronunciation if you can. And she is basically a water imp from Scotland, and she wears a green dress with her hood pulled down. Her skin is gray, her hair is yellow, and sometimes she is half goat and half woman. And she is found around lakes, lochs, lakes, and ponds. And sometimes she can be considered as an intermediary between the human realm and the fairy realm. Another interesting one is sea trolls. Another interesting water fae I found was ℏ𝔬𝔫𝔢, and they're Scottish water maidens, and they are nocturnal. They cannot step foot on land, and sometimes they're described as ghost-like and translucent, and they're really interesting to me. And apparently, if they go out into the sunlight, they will turn into a puddle. The last one I wanted to talk about is kind of creepy, is known as Jenny Greenteeth. And Jenny Greenteeth is associated with the duckweed that's found on the top of ponds. And basically, she is said to take children and take them with her into the ponds and drown them. It is very possible that people created this story in order to kind of discourage children from going near ponds. And then there's another theory that Jenny Greenteeth is real, and that, she has been the reason for children going missing around bodies of water. And she basically has, green hair and these yellow teeth and long fingernails, and she'll reach up and snatch the child into the water. So, yeah, if you're a child, don't be careful. Please be careful. If you're a child, please be careful near the water. And if you're an adult, you already know. Kids are very accident prone as it is. And on that lovely note, I guess I'm out. On that very lovely, wonderful, positive note. But yeah, really, these are very interesting tales. They're very interesting to learn about and to work with. So let me know if you guys like these kinds of videos about water fairies, or the fae in general, not just water fairies, because there's more than one kind of fairy, obviously. And yeah, let me know what you think in the comments. Let me know about other types of fairies that you know of, and then I might be doing another video with water spirits from other cultures, not just Celtic. So yeah, let me know what you'd like to see. And if you enjoyed this video, thank you so much. I love you all. Blessed be. Bye.